Welcome to Framework Fortune. I'm your host Ben, and I'm back from my week-long hiatus. Now I'm still having internet issues. Leave your bad reviews at spectrum.com, but I am switching services and we should be back on track next week, as long as the new service, the new ISP provider, is not trash like my current ISP provider. And if you haven't joined the war against these monopolized ISP providers, be sure to check out this video above me, PKT from the Framework Fortune Crypto channel, Decentralized Internet for All, cutting out those ISP providers and hopefully destroying those monopolies in the future. But anyway, let's get into some stock market and what's been happening. So the NASDAQ, which, no surprise if you've been following me, has dropped all the way down last week to a low of 11.5. Now it did hold that 11.5 area, and that was what I was saying was the last bottom support. If we crack this 11.5, we are going to be going down lower. So today the NASDAQ did have a bounce. Now, we've been running in to that 13,000 area, which is also where the 50-day is, and previous support where we've bounced before. And we do almost have like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It's just not exactly the way it should be. So this may be a false signal. So you see there's a shoulder here and then the head here, but there's no shoulder that has come back down to really have a bounce to make it that type of inverse head and shoulders. So this would be this is kind of a shoulder, but it's so much higher than this shoulder, and because we've been running into this 13,000 and not able to break over it, actually not even able to touch it, we had 12,954, and now today we are starting to get some indecision. I do think we may be going to drop back down to that 11.5. Not a lot of good news coming out, as they're admitting they were wrong about inflation. No surprise there. And all the other things that is happening. So we have been watching in the Discord, and HHTRADER's been all over his channel about it. If you haven't checked HHTRADER out, go check him out. He live streamed day trades as well. Good technical analysis. But we have been waiting on this breakout on oil after the first initial rip up to 130. My initial target for the year for oil was 150. And the way we've been climbing right up in this nice channel, right along that 50-day moving average, we are starting to push to the top of this channel. Break of 125, 130. Would not be that crazy to see it up to 150. Now it may take some time because oil is a very big market, but today oil has had a nice spike from 119 all the way up to 122, and that actually happened in about a 3-hour span. So we are running into some resistance at 122, but if oil starts to hold 122, I think we're going to see a test of 125 at some point today, probably towards later tonight, because the futures are open all night. But with this spike in oil, INDO, which is one that we've been watching very close, it did get all the way down to 11.15 today, but has already rebounded back up to 13. You can see I do have 20 shares I got in yesterday in this little wick. Got up a little bit higher than I wanted because I thought the breakout was going to happen yesterday on oil, but no worries. Oil's looking very good at the moment. So all oil plays the rest of this week and probably the next couple of weeks are going to be on high watch, and that includes INDO, plays like HUSA, which the last 2 days HUSA's went ballistic from 475 up to 860, doubling in price, looking very bullish on the daily chart. We are going to run into some resistance and congestion at $10. You can see down here where that was a previous problem area. And then if it can break $10, HUSA could easily get back up to that 15. HUSA's only 10 million in float, so very low float. MARPS is another one. MARPS is a petroleum trust, so it doesn't really get a lot of volume during the day, but you can see in the past couple of weeks. It was at a low of 682 and it's been climbing, and then today just out of nowhere in 1 hour just spiking from $9 all the way up to $11.50. So I did grab one share because I still have funds in INDO, and I traded RDBX yesterday into today, which we'll get into in just a second. But definitely keep an eye on MARPs, as it will directly correlate with the oil futures because it is an oil trust. It's not a stock. But this type of spike with a low float, only 2 million shares, is easy to see on MARPs. I made some nice plays off of this big rip, making some nice profits. So I would not be surprised if oil continues to go that we see MARPs, get up in those higher prices again, just because of how low float it is. It is probably the lowest float oil play. It's just a trust instead of a stock. Now, as I said, I did take this trade on RDBX yesterday. This is one that's been volatile over the past month and a half when we've been watching. This has not really got a catalyst. It's red box. It's a dying company. We've talked about it. But there's some hype and buying coming into this play. And the chart pattern was really, really nice yesterday. You can even see on this daily where when it started pushing up, that 10-day was able to cross over the 200, but in any case broke up this downtrend and then gapped up this morning. So I had 30 shares, just getting my toes wet because I haven't traded in about 2 weeks. So I got it down here at 716 and held it through this channel. Nice, beautiful channel. Sold 10 in after hours about 8:21 when we had this spike, and then right before market close I saw it was pushing up again. Sold another 15 at 882 and kept 5 shares because I really didn't want to hold too many shares into the next day after the nice rip it had yesterday, because this was a move from 677 up to 948. However, the extra 5 shares I did hold because we were holding in this channel paid off pretty well, as RDBX jumped all the way up to 1132, but I was not quite awake yet during this rip, so I didn't see it until it started coming back down, and I just went ahead and locked out that last 5 at 1016. So pretty good rip on that play. Could it keep going up? We'll see, but it's way up here on the chart now from this gap up, and I want to see it hold $10 as support for a few days or so before I look for another possible play on this, because there's a lot of room that it could drop back down to the 10-day at 725, or maybe this 850 area of support could try to hold where that was previous resistance. INDO still trying to push back up. We got a nice U shape here on the hour chart, but does need to break 13 and hold it as support. We did have one little pop through up to 1325 so far, but as soon as we see 13 start holding as support, I think that's when we'll see new buyers come in. And INDO is way down here on the daily chart, sitting on this 200 right now, which it's been above the 200 moving average since about the beginning of the year. So still bullish unless it cracks that 200 moving average, which is not very likely with oil starting to warm up like it is. So there was a nice little rip on HTCR. They just had a buyback program. They also did a consulting agreement, a couple little decent press releases of this thing. Pretty low flow, 18 million shares, ripping from $1 to 320, but running right into that 200-day moving average. So I don't know. I don't really think this is going to have any type of continuation, but we may keep it on watch today. It's up 175%, and I'm not going to be jumping in anything that high up. CYR had a little pop yesterday, trying to hold up today, but kind of looking like a head and shoulders here with the shoulder there, head here. Another possible shoulder forming, probably going to sell off. Now, yesterday and this morning has been very hot for all types of plays, but you want to be careful with that because a lot of these plays were moving back up because the NASDAQ was moving back up. The NASDAQ starts dropping again, which is really looking like it's going to here probably before the end of the day. These plays that aren't related to oil or have no good catalyst are probably not going to continue to run. EFIO seems like it's an industrial stock, so that has been kind of bullish. Very low float. I'm actually going to put this one on watch. We'll see if the NASDAQ has an effect on this play or not, but I'm liking this little trend line that we have so far, making this little channel, but you can see there it's got to hold this area, so we'll keep it on watch for a couple of days. Big gap up though, about 70 cents above that 200, so could come back down, but possible another play. Node validators and digital treasuries like BTCS, RAI, and Merit, they're probably buying at these prices. I know I have been buying some cryptos at these prices, so most of the crypto plays which I have on my watch list, as I've been saying, are super low. Riot actually hitting a low a year yesterday at 582, and this was $46 as the high in the last crypto bull run. So all of these stocks are way undervalued. BTCS, same thing, way down here at 240. They just paid out the first dividend ever in Bitcoin, and just getting slept on. All these crypto companies getting slept on. Even Coinbase is at extremely cheap prices at $70. It did hit a low of $40. So I am like a hawk on these crypto plays. You guys know I'm a gold buff as well. Gold dropped below this trend line, but you can see here on the daily where gold is starting to try to get back above it. Pretty much holding 1850 as some type of support. Just got to break up over 1900 and we could see gold up to 2000. So my number one gold watch right now is HYMC because of Sprott and AMC investing into it. Very low at the moment, but still climbing, starting to make an uptrend. If HYMC holds this uptrend, we could see it try to push up and re-break over 175 where that 200-day is, especially if gold starts to go, which last time oil ran, gold ran, because those two assets are usually anti-inflation assets. Besides HYMC, AUST, this is a new mining company. They IPO'd, shot up to $29 on the first day before selling all the way off, and have been dropping low of a year so far, which, you know, you only got about a month here to look at. Looks like it's tried to find some support right along that area. So if this starts getting some attention, because gold's moving up, very low float, 13 million, and we've seen in the past where this thing can rip very hard. So AUST, HYMC, my two main gold watches. Crypto watches, BTCS, Mara Riot, BTBT, and then of course the oil plays, INDO, MARPs, HUSA, and there's actually plenty of other oil plays out there to check out. So if there's any oil plays that you think should be on the watch list, put it down in the comments below. Appreciate everybody joining me as always, and we'll be back live streaming soon. Until next time.